The mid-2000s were a strange time to be a woman. Megan Fox was lifting up the hood of an old Camaro. Jennifer Lawrence was joking about taking shots before big events and eating cheeseburgers afterwards. Rosamund Pike as Amy Dunn was lamenting what it takes to be a cool girl. And feminine hobbies and interests were widely perceived as unimportant, uninteresting, or even worse, basic. If you too have been a victim of going from a shotgunning, Rick and Morty watching, guy's girl, to a Sabrina Carpenter listening, girl dinner eating, feminine energy embracing girl's girl, you might need to do some shadow work. And I'm gonna show you how. Hello my girls, welcome in. I am so glad to have you joining me on this brand new YouTube video all about what shadow work really is and why you probably need to do it. But if you happen to be new here on this channel, hi, my name is Caitlin. I am a feminine energy manifestation and inner work coach, and I am here to show you how to become your own dream girl and how to level up your life in every single area. So if that sounds like a community that you would be interested in joining, please feel free to click the subscribe button down below. Also, if you're interested in signing up for one-on-one coaching with me, or you're interested in my Lifestylist workbook, which is your complete guide to manifesting anything you want in your life with total ease, flow, and feminine energy, or you want to download my completely free Inner Work Foundations guide, the link to all of those will be in the description down below. So let's go ahead and get started. What is shadow work? Shadow work means exploring and integrating the unconscious aspects of yourself, also known as your shadow self. These can include past traumas, trapped emotions, fears, and repressed desires. And we're doing this in order to achieve personal growth. Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung mentioned that a personality is made up of two components. First, we have the persona, which literally means the mask. This is our conscious personality, and this determines how we deal with our external world. And the other side is the shadow. This is the person that we would rather not be. We hide this person from the outside world. I like to think of the shadow self as like the hidden, repressed side of yourself. It's the side of you that you keep locked up really tight in order to make it through life. Shadow sides can be good, they can be bad, they can be a mix of both, but what I want to point out here is that shadow work is definitely a component or a type of inner work. And if you're new here on this channel, I have an entire playlist dedicated to what inner work is and the basics of inner work. But to put it simply, inner work is a self-development process of deconstruction and reconstruction. So first you are deconstructing any thoughts, behaviors, limiting beliefs, traumas, trapped emotions, things that are no longer serving you. You're figuring out what's going on there. And then you're reconstructing the new person that you want to be with empowering thoughts, with new routines, new behaviors, new goals. If you want to be a complete and happy person and reach your fullest potential, you need to love and understand all parts of yourself, including your mask or your light self and your shadow self. So who needs shadow work? This is a very juicy question, and the answer is all of us, really. As long as you are having a human experience where at any point in time you have not lived as your most authentic self, you probably have a shadow self lurking around somewhere in there. And based on what I'm describing, what might come to mind is like movie and TV show stereotypes, like the high school jock that is secretly a nerd, or the much more toxic alpha bully against queer people who is secretly a closeted queer person themselves. But you know, for the fun of it, let's get into a list of examples of who needs shadow work, because odds are you probably resonate with one or multiple of these. So some examples of people who need shadow work are the guy's girl, who's never been able to bond super well with women; the good daughter, who is repressed inside and feels unheard and misunderstood by her family; the people pleaser, who is secretly desperate to get people to love them. If you are a walls up, closed off to love kind of person, your shadow is probably someone who was deeply traumatized as a child. If you're a class clown, you might not think that you're intelligent enough or worthy enough to have a serious opinion. A lazy person who is actually secretly very capable on the inside, but in the past they were not acknowledged for doing a good job, or they were burned or criticized by other people. Someone who is a victim but refuses to see that they're actually the problem definitely needs shadow work. So does the overachiever, who actually just wants to rest and pursue their passions. A good mom who is burned out and miserable on the inside. There's also the good girl who is a goody little two-shoes who's actually secretly repressing her sensuality and her dark femininity. And finally, we have the tough girl or the tough guy who represses their softer, more delicate side, their more sensitive side. So how do you know that you need shadow work? This is where it gets a little personal, a little painful, and a little bit juicy. Your external reality is a direct reflection of your internal state. I have said that once, I have said it twice, I've said it multiple times on this channel. If you are consistently attracting something over and over again in your external reality, it's time to look at what's going on with you internally. If you keep attracting the same toxic partners, terrible bosses, or flaky friends, it might be time to look at your shadow self and do some shadow work. The thing that is so tricky about figuring out what your shadow self is that it is very repressed. That's the nature of your shadow self. You're hiding it. I remember when I first started learning about shadow work, I was like, I don't have a shadow self. I feel great. I really like who I am. So how can you find out what your shadow self is? If you want to become a whole and complete person and continue on your self-development journey, how can you find out your shadow self? So first, I want to ask you to become the observer, become self-aware. That is a cornerstone of inner work. Ask yourself, what regularly triggers you? What do you find irritating in other people, especially people that are similar to you? And this is how I finally figured out what my shadow self was. So something that is super interesting is that a sign that someone else's personality, their mask or their light self is your shadow self, is that they will deeply trigger you. Like some of your deepest triggers about other people are often a reflection of what your shadow self is. So as a quick example, just in case you're still not sure, when I was in college, I was at my epitome of guy's girl Caitlin. I was, always partying, always lifting, always trying to be cool and, try to get guys to like me. And I, funnily enough, was studying fashion merchandising, which is still an interest of mine. It was more aligned with who I actually am than this mask I was putting up of being a tough, cool girl. And I would always get so triggered when I would see women show up to class or even in the gym that looked so put together. I secretly resented their fully done makeup and the fact that they knew how to curl their hair, because at the time, I didn't. I thought I was too cool for all of those softer feminine skills. I would get so triggered when I would see girls in the gym in their cute little pink matching sets doing Pilates. And looking back on that, the reason those girls bothered me so deeply is because they were fully confident in their feminine identity. They loved tapping into their light, beautiful, delicious, attractive feminine energy. They were effortlessly and often attracting the guys that I wanted to be with, and they were in a lot of the friend circles that I was too intimidated to fit in by because I didn't have those soft feminine energy skills or a way of carrying myself. So that's a great way to figure out your shadow self. Who is triggering you constantly because they feel free to be whoever they want to be while you still feel like you need to hide that version of you. Another way you can figure out what your shadow self is you can ask yourself, what were you punished for as a child? Because oftentimes when we're children or just in our earlier lives, if we're punished for being a certain way, for being funny, for being feminine, for being creative, for being soft, we will repress that side of ourselves in order to survive in our home environments or in our school environments. And so you can also ask yourself, what makes you feel fear and shame? Keep in mind, the more that you fight to hide something, the more it will fight to be seen, because what you resist persists. So if you have a strong resistance to certain topics or areas of inner work, that means that your shadow self might exist somewhere in that area. So if certain topics of conversation or certain people really trigger you, that is a clue that your shadow self is in there somewhere. So now let's get on to the practical part. How do we actually do shadow work? In my opinion, half of the battle of doing shadow work is just figuring out what your shadow self is. I put off shadow work for so long and I didn't think I really needed to do it because I was so deeply repressed in what my shadow selves, I've had a couple, most of us have a couple. I was so repressed in what those were that I didn't even take on shadow work in the first place. Once you figure out what your shadow self is or what your multiple shadow selves are, it is about loving and accepting those parts of yourself and then choosing to either integrate them into who you are moving forward or to release them with love and not have them be a part of you anymore. So step one is to fully acknowledge and see your shadow self. And how I like to do this is I like to meditate on it. Big fan of meditation here. I will just sit and sort of reflect and fully conjure up memories of all these different times when I felt that my shadow self was repressed or when I felt like it was like just below the surface. I also would highly recommend talking to it. It sounds kind of funny, but just like how we act out little scenarios in the shower of how we wish things had gone, it can be so helpful to literally talk out loud to your shadow self and say, you know, I'm so sorry that I kept you repressed for so long, or you didn't really serve me and I'm ready to release you. Whatever you need to do, step one is to fully acknowledge and accept that your shadow self even exists. Another option is to journal about it. Write down everything that possibly comes to mind about why your shadow self came up, what it held you back from, and how it's popped up as you've moved throughout your life. Step two is once you fully acknowledge what your shadow self is you have to choose if you want to integrate it into who you are now or release it. If you've decided to release it, I would highly recommend writing a letter to your shadow self. It sounds silly, but I promise you it works. You can either thank your shadow self for keeping you safe, for serving you in some way, or you can forgive it for the negative role that it's played in your life. If you want to integrate the shadow self into who you are and your new identity moving forward, you have to neutralize it with the opposite energy. So for example, if you are stuck in good girl and people pleaser mode, you can neutralize that and work that into your personality by balancing it out with embracing your dark feminine energy and embracing upholding your boundaries. A tough guy or a tough girl is neutralized by light feminine or light masculine energy. A class clown is neutralized by embracing intelligent pursuits and showing off their knowledge. A lazy person is neutralized by buckling down and doing some hard work. And a liar is neutralized by embracing radical honesty. I would highly recommend checking out the book No Bad Parts by Richard Schwartz. And I honestly don't think that the author mentions anything about the shadow self in this book, but this book says it's going to help you heal trauma and restore wholeness with the internal family systems model. And in a nutshell, what this book is about is it's talking about all of the different parts of yourself and how they'll sometimes be repressed or brought to light, how they all work together to form your identity, how they affect your behavior, how they affect your traumas and triggers. It's so much bigger than just shadow work. This is really such an easy to understand and super impactful read. I would highly, highly recommend it if you're on your inner work journey or you're specifically interested in shadow work or repressed parts of yourself. This was not only a big eye-opener for myself and my own behavior, but for those of my friends and family who, even though I'm not going to be able to force them to do inner work because that's just wrong, now I can understand their behavior a lot better based on how their different parts are operating to form their identity and who they are and how they interact with me. Okay, so let's get into the journal prompts. So I have 4 of them for you today because there's just so many different ways that you can approach shadow work and it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. So the first question that's an option for you is, what quality or qualities in yourself do you take great pride in? On the flip side, the second question, the second option for you is, what qualities in myself have I rejected? Or what qualities about myself do I hide from other people? Option number 3 is, what was your shadow side growing up? AKA, what did you get in trouble for and what did you feel forced to control or cover up as a child? What side of yourself did you keep inside that you did not feel comfortable letting out around your friends, family, or classmates? And the fourth option, and this one is pretty deep, so buckle up, is, what is the biggest lie I have ever told myself about myself? So that's all I have for you in today's video. If this video was helpful for you and you're looking forward to more videos on how to become the best version of yourself in all areas, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. And I would also highly recommend following me either on Instagram or TikTok. I post quite different content on each one, so one or the other might not appeal to you. Instagram for me is a very polished, inner work focused, more aesthetics focused platform. And for me, my TikTok is a lot more focused on casual content, still inner work, but it also very heavily includes feminine energy in fiction and fantasy. I talk about romantasy books in there, book talk, movies, TV shows, female media. That stuff just does so much better over on TikTok. So if you're interested in looking at inner work through the lens of like popular female media, definitely follow me over on my TikTok. It is so much fun over there. And thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of today's video. Don't forget to check out my workbooks and my one-on-one coaching offerings because I am here to help you. Have a good rest of your day and I'll see you in the next one.